What's going on, guys? Back for this Thursday slate. Going to be going over both the early and main slate today. Absolutely dominated baseball again yesterday. If you saw the video yesterday, you knew I was high on Jordan Lyles as my SP2. If you missed out on yesterday's video, then you missed that Jordan Lyles pick, along with some other great picks with Chris Davis, Mitch Haniger, Robbie Ray. We've cashed on the early slate FanDuel, early slate Draftkings, main slate FanDuel, main slate Draftkings for a clean sweep, 4 for 4. The record is over 75% winning clip right now to start the season. Just been sticking to the same process that I've been doing in terms of research since opening day, and it's resulted in clean sweeps almost every day. You see all the tweets I've been getting every day on Twitter. So if you're tired of missing out or you're not winning as much with other people, you can join us by hitting the link in the description. So let's keep it going. Please drop a like and subscribe. Let's get over 100 likes today. So we're going to spend a few minutes going over the early slates and then a few minutes going over the main slate. Already have the picks on the screen. For the early slate, started off with Sonny Gray at 8,900. So he's facing the Marlins team that doesn't have a ton of pop in the lineup. Sonny Gray is always a little risky because when he unravels and when he gets hit hard, he gets really hit hard. But I'm a little confident in him in this matchup against Miami just because their offense is not too scary, and I'm expecting him to get some run support here with the Reds having such a good total. At 8,900, he allows you to fit in some of the higher bats, and I think it's a really good spot for him against the Marlins. Second pitcher I like is Spencer Turnbull. This guy also has a lot of strikeout upside going up against his Cleveland team. The Cleveland team is still without Francisco Lindor, and Jose Ramirez has been non-existent so far this season. Has not been able to hit anything. You'll probably get it going soon, but without Francisco Lindor in the lineup, they don't have to throw anything to Jose Ramirez. He's the only really good hitter in the Cleveland lineup, so they've just been throwing him a lot of junk and nothing that he's been able to barrel up. So that should continue today. Spencer Turnbull at 7,900. A lot of strikeout upside. He had 10 strikeouts against the Royals, a team that doesn't strike out a bunch. Should pitch 5 to 6 innings, and he is pretty efficient with the pitches. So at 7,900 at home, I think it's a decent spot for him. With the bats today, the early slate got two teams on my mind, the Oakland A's and the Seattle Mariners. Both games are facing a pitcher that gives up a lot of home runs, and the Seattle game is also going to be very windy, over 20-mile-per-hour winds blowing out. So they didn't do anything yesterday with the home run ball, but I think to close out the series, the Mariners are going to go yard a couple times today. So the first guy that I like is E5, Edwin Encarnacion. Now it's kind of tough picking between him and Daniel Vogelbach. They probably both will go yard today, hopefully. But I'm just feeling E5 more than Vogelbach right now, facing Jorge Lopez. Lopez gives up a ton of hard contact, a ton of power. Edwin Encarnacion has a ton of power. We saw that him hit 2 home runs in the same inning 2 days ago. So at 4,900, he's pretty priced up. I'm not sure how popular he will be, but he's definitely one of my favorite first basemen on the slate. So I like E5. I like Chad Pinder. If Pinder's not in the starting lineup, even though I would be shocked if he's not, I think I would go to Profar here. But Pinder, I don't see how they can take him out of the lineup after he's been swinging the bat so well. Home run yesterday, 3 hits the day before that. He's been hitting right in that 6-7 spot. He hit 6 yesterday. And he's just been really hot to start the season. He has dual position eligibility. Going up against Dylan Bundy here in a home run ballpark, the Oakland A's could smash another 4 or 5 home runs here. Bundy strikes a lot of people out, but he also gives up a ton of home runs. And this Oakland team definitely has a ton of power, especially against righties. So I love Chad Pinder. I love Chris Davis again. So when Chris Davis hits a couple home runs, he usually hits a few more. He's a very streaky hitter, home run hitter. We saw early the season where he had 5 in the first 5 or 6 games. Then he had no home runs for 4 or 5 games in a row. And now he hit 2 yesterday against a righty. It's another righty that gives up a ton of power today. I love the spot for Chris Davis at 4,800. He was popular yesterday, but we know how good he is against righties. I only play him against right-handed pitching. So at 4,800, it's a good spot for him against Dylan Bundy. And finally, I like Jesse Winker at 3,600. So I like the Reds a little bit. They'll probably be my third favorite stack behind the A's and Mariners. I like Winker leading off at 3,600. His bat has finally come around with home runs in 2 straight games. He hits leadoff, should get 4 or 5 at-bats. Should get 5 at-bats probably in this one against Lopez. Pablo Lopez has struggled against lefties. Both his home runs this season have come against lefties. Winker does have some pop, and hitting leadoff, you should get a lot of opportunities here with the Reds in a good spot here, especially at home. That ballpark, Great American Ballpark, is great for left-handed hitters, so I like Winker at 3,600. So that wraps up my early slate picks. Let's go on to the main slate. It is a 5-game slate, might turn into a 4-game slate with the weather in Chicago, so currently just going to be fading that game. But the thing I want to talk about is the pitcher for the Padres. The Padres are going to be going with a rookie that has not even pitched in AAA. He's literally getting called up from AA right into the major leagues. That is like going from like first grade to middle school. There's like a huge jump that he skipped. His first start in the major leagues, he's definitely going to be nervous. Is also on the road, which doesn't really help. I think the Diamondbacks are going to rock him. They are by far my favorite stack on the board. And I would run it back with the Padres stack. I think I would have stacked this whole game just because I don't really love any other spot on the board today. The Padres also have a favorable matchup against Zach Godley, who's gone off to a decent start, but he also has a very high ERA to start the season. He gives up a lot of hard contact. The Padres have a ton of power hitters, so I'm not sure it's not a great spot for Zach Godley, and I do like some of these Padres hitters that we will talk about. So first up, I like a pitching is going to be John Gray against the Giants. So the Giants' offense is not good. They have gotten a little better since they added Kevin Pillar, and he's been crushing. But Pillar should regress back to normal. He's not a home run hitter, and he's been crushing home runs since he's been a Giant, especially in this ballpark. It's not great for home run hitting at all, especially at night with the marine layer and all that crap. But John Gray at 9,300. Ton of strikeout upside with him. Definitely the top pitcher on the board. Not much else to talk about. I like him. I like the other side with Jeff Samardzija. So he's also a decent pitcher. He's definitely getting older though. But I like him in this spot just because the Rockies' offense is very depleted with injuries. And they are they have a bunch of guys that a lot of people have not really heard of. They have a decent core of Blackmon, Arenado, Story in the lineup, but then they also have guys like Ramil Tapia, John Fuentes, Garrett Hampson, Tony Walters. John Gray's also going to be hitting. So it's just a great spot for Jeff Samardzija if he gets around those 3 guys in Blackmon, Arenado, Story, because the Rockies are missing a lot of guys with injuries like David Dahl, Daniel Murphy. So they've just been starting a lot of crappy hitters, and Samardzija should be able to have some success against them. So at 7,500, I'd definitely go with both pitchers in this game, with both totals being so low. And I like both of the pitchers a lot. So bats, I said, I like a Padres Diamondback stack. Give me Will Myers, who's been smashing the baseball. This looks like it might be a breakout season for this kid. He had a great chance last year too, except he got hurt a little bit. At 4,600, now he has dual positional eligibility. I would definitely play him at first base because the outfield, I would probably go with Renfroe and a couple other guys. But I like Will Myers here at 4,600. He has a ton of power, and he has good numbers against Godley, so I like him. I like Manny Machado at 4,400. So he got off to a very slow start as a Padre and finally started to get his back going a bit. He's been hitting some home runs lately. There's a chance he can go yard again. Arizona's a decent spot to hit in. He's been good against right-handed pitchers and lefties. He's pretty splits neutral. At 4,400, he's by far the top third base option on the main slate for me. And I would definitely play him here against Zach Godley. In the outfield, I like David Peralta. Peralta has been one of the best hitters in the league last season, and he's continuing that with a 364 batting average through the first 12 games. He's a really good hitter. He hits for power as well. He was tremendous against right-handed pitching last season. Peralta is one of my favorite plays on the board for this main slate. And finally, Adam Jones got a day off yesterday. That should help him get fresh again. He was he's getting up there in age a bit, so after playing a bunch of the first games, probably was a little tired. He got a day off, so I'm expecting him to go right back to crushing it like he's been all season. Batting average has come down a bit after a couple of poor games, but we know Adam Jones here. He can really just hit with the one swing of the bat, and he's already been 4 home runs on the season. Gone off to a great start as a Diamondback, and I just love the offense today against that rookie in the Padres. So there you have it. Those are both of my slates picks. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.